it okay?
Mike.
And I said, certainly go ahead and invest wherever you think it's good for the company. But God forbid a second Godhra happens, don't ever tell me to shut up. Give me the freedom, and you have the commercial freedom to do whatever you want.
Your story, again, Anu, it's yours. Your story demonstrates the professional and personal journeys leaders have to undergo. How do you deal with gender conditioning, male macho or female soft at Thermax? Do you have any personal experiences?
I half jokingly said about the male macho thing, but frankly, as Nandita said, I don't look upon myself as a woman all the time, but as a human being. And I find people look upon me also as a human being. Maybe in the film world, Nandita has come across certain comments I've never come across. Anyone not respecting me. And we have about 6% women in our organization. Because in an engineering company, it's difficult to recruit more women. But we are conscious of that fact, and we are aware, and we're trying to do something about it. But I don't make a big thing out of gender differences.
Shobhana, last question from me. This is something that I'm a little curious about. You and your sisters share leadership along with your father. Probably this is unfair because you don't have a reference of how brothers share leadership. So, do you see it as a more stable model, or do you see inherent instability coming in from somewhere? I put you in a spot?
No, lucky our husbands are not involved. So the instability is not there. But very frankly, I think that women tend to be more collaborative, and that helps us. And the fact that there's probably only 1.5 years difference between each of us, as Rajshri will attest to, you have to be friends with 4 of us if you want to be friends with 1. So we are each other's best friends, and we talk to each other at least 2-3 times a day. Apart from the formal meetings, there's nothing that will take the place of a formal meeting that needs to be done. You need to have the discipline, and you need to be able to respect each other. Having said all that fairy tale, we give each other space. I will not get into their, lines of work now.
Okay. Another question for you, probably a last one. You were mentioning that people like you should be getting involved in larger social issues. You. I think the second part of your talk, you talked about, everyone.
But not share the same house with them. Maybe. I wasn't taking it that far.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, so not the guys who are actually doing that kind of stuff. No, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Not the person who had practical advices. Yeah. Are you doing anything to shape this? Any concrete steps in this direction?
I think that a lot of the work that we do no corporate can stand alone. Just like Anu said, that she now focuses on a foundation, that we've been spending time going out to our villages, making a difference, in the way we know best, healthcare probably. But then when this issue came up in Telangana, it wasn't probably the right thing for me to do, and everyone in the family said, shut up and stay at home. And my husband and I were the first people to go and meet the Chief Minister and say, we're there for you. We went out into forums and spoke that language, actually spent the eve of New Year with those communists talking. When there's a call to action, I think all of us, probably like Anu did about Gujarat, I'm not sure, that was your personal conviction, and I know that many people at CII were not too happy with what you did, because then everyone did a lot more work after the earthquake trying to make amends. You didn't tell that part of the story. Oh, earlier. But you know, I think that what you did was conviction. And I think that if more people work with conviction, then they can't afford to take pot shots at people, you know, because she was doing what is the right thing. And maybe I was doing what's the right thing, even though in my own family, my brother-in-law hates this. His family has fought for Telangana. And so we sit at the table and fight it out. So it's divided families. So when there's a cause out there, I think that you should speak with your conscience. And probably because of what we are, who we are, the fortunate, this thing, you'll get heard more, Jairam, than other people. So there's more responsibility on you, on Nandita, and everyone in this room to stand there and voice their opinion.
Sure, absolutely.
That red light stopped me from narrating a story, but I think it's interesting. A man dies and finds himself floating in the clouds. And he's very happy. He said, I didn't know I was such a good human being that God has put me in heaven. But after a while, he gets bored. And he says, God, I wish I could have the house which I've always dreamt of. And lo and behold, God gives him a better house than he ever wanted. He's very happy, but like all of us, gets bored and says, I wish I have food which I was enjoying. And God gives him every kind of food. Then he asks for music, and that's provided. He asks for books, and then that's provided. He says, only one last thing. Give me a woman. And God gives him the most beautiful woman. No, she doesn't argue with him. She's a companion and absolutely a soulmate. They are thrilled with each other. But then he starts worrying. What if she leaves me? What if the house disappears? What if the food stops? And he makes himself so miserable that he goes to God and says, God, do you mind? I don't want to sound ungrateful, but please, I'm miserable in heaven. Please send me to hell. And God says, where do you think you are, my son?
Nandita, Shobana, Anu, thank you so much. And thank you for your questions.